This tutorial is just for the yoga section of the Ignite 30 classes. There will be other sections coming for the bar, the MMA boxing, and the primal movements, just so you get a feel for the work that we are doing within those classes. So I wanted to kind of break down each of the poses and the flow of the yoga section so that you have a better understanding. This yoga flow carries through the entire 8-week program, but I wanted to break it down here to give you a better guidance on how to do the moves. So I'm going to face you for the first set, and then I will turn sideways so that you can see and have a better idea of the form and how it's supposed to look. I am not perfect. I don't pretend to be, but I will show you proper placement and proper form so that you can be safe. So the first pose that we do is mountain pose. In mountain pose, we ground down into our feet. Now our feet can either be touching or slightly apart, not real wide, but slightly apart. I personally prefer my feet to be touching. You ground into your entire surface area of your feet. So your big toes, your pinky toes, those are both touching the mat, and then basically all four corners. So your feet, your toes, and the inner and outer edges of your heel. Your palms face forward, hands down to your side. Don't lock out your knees. You have a slight bend in the knees. Your shoulders are up, down, and back, and you're looking straight ahead. This is mountain. Our next move is extended mountain. In extended mountain, we slightly bend our knees, and we sweep our arms up overhead, and we look up. You can give a slight bend, back bend, just a very, very slight. I prefer to just stand tall and look up. My hands are, let me back up a little bit. My hands are in prayer, but you can have them out as well. So this is extended mountain. The next move is just forward fold. I like to kind of think of it as like a dive, right? So you bring your hip, you shoot your hips out back, and you bring your chest to your legs. Now, I'm going to turn sideways for this one. When I fold, I also bend my knees. Because my hamstrings are tight, I bend my knees, and I want to get my chest to my thighs. So I bend my knees to help me get there, right? Plant your hands on the ground. So this is forward fold. You're still rooting down in all four corners of your feet, strong foundation. Your hands are just lightly on the mat. From here, we do a halfway lift. So we lift up, straighten our legs, and we flatten out our back. The crown of the head faces the front edge of the mat. So think of pulling your back, your sit bones back as you stretch your chest forward, keeping your back flat. From here, we just go back to forward fold. The next is that we step back to plank. Now, we're good. So you plant your hands and you can step back to plank. When you become, when you get more confidence and you feel like you can do this, you bend your knees, plant your hands, put all of your weight in your hands, lift your heels, and shoot your hips back, or shoot your feet back. So you can jump back to plank. So plank, shoulders over wrists. You're in one straight line. Then you're going to lower down. When you lower down, you either lower halfway, so your elbows are at 90, or you come all the way down to the mat. This is your low plank. From here, you're just going to lift your chest. Now, if you have come down all the way to the mat, you're just going to lift your chest. If you've come from here and just done halfway, you can drop your knees and lift all the way up, but holding this is a little difficult. From here, you can lift all the way up to upward facing dog. So your thighs are off the mat and your arms are straight, or just partially off the mat. So your thighs are still down, but your chest is forward. So this is cobra. From cobra, from here, you're going to tuck your toes and send your hips up and back. This is downward facing dog. Now, to get your hips back, you can bend your knees as much as you need to before straightening out. Your triceps are rotated towards the top of the mat. Your hands are firmly planted on the mat, and all 10 fingers are pressing into it. You're not gripping, your hands are flat. So your hands are flat, you're not gripping, they're just flat, okay? But you're rotating so that your shoulders or that your elbows are kind of in, right? So up and back, your head is in line with your arms. So this is downward facing dog. This is a resting pose, so we will rest here often. So let's flow through that little sequence, and then we will add on. So come back to the top of the mat. We're going to start again in mountain pose. Hold on. Don't want to miss a move, so make sure I have my notes with me. All right, so we're going to start in mountain. Let's help them out. Get set. Ground into your feet. Inhale. Exhale. And on your next inhale, sweep your arms up overhead. Look up. And then on your stay for the exhale. Inhale. Fold. Forward. Hands touch the mat. Inhale. Halfway lift. Flatten out your back. Stretch the crown of your head to the front of the room. And then fold, plant your hands, step back to plank, lower and lift, and send your hips up and back, downward facing dog. From downward facing dog, we put all of our weight on our left foot, and we step our right foot between our hands. Now, if you have to, step here and bring your foot to here. You will eventually be able to just step, okay? It takes a bit, so do not get frustrated if you can't get there on the first try. If you have to go from here to here, turn and go here, do what works for you, you'll get there. Now, this move here, your front leg's at 90 degrees. This is your low lunge. You can place your back knee on the mat. Keep your toes tucked if this is more comfortable for you. And for beginners, I highly recommend that. So keeping your back knee on the mat. And the next step. So we're going to lift our right arm straight to the ceiling. So you're going to rotate your chest, and so that you're facing the same way your knee is, right? Your arm, top right arm is going to go towards the ceiling, and you're going to look towards your hand. This is just a rotational stretch. You will hold here briefly, and then you return your hand to your mat. Lifting your back leg and stepping back to plank. Then you flow through that sequence. Lower, lift, and then back to downward facing dog. Your left foot follows the same sequence. So you step your left foot in between your hands. Again, plant your knee if you need to. And then you're going to extend your left arm up and rotate, looking towards your left hand. And then place it back on the mat. Lift, step back to plank, lower, rise, and back to down dog. We will always pause in down dog after our second sequence. You can pedal at your feet here or just find rest. When you travel back from down dog back to forward fold, there's two ways to do that. You look to the top of your mat and walk your feet to your forward folds, or you look to the top of your mat, press firmly into your hands, and hop to the top of your mat. So now we just reverse what we did at the beginning. So forward fold, halfway lift, fold, rise, all the way back to mountain, extended mountain. Bring your hands to your heart center and back to your mountain pose. Okay. Now we flow through that same sequence throughout the whole flow, but we add on. So back to mountain. Shoulders are down, back and relaxed. Inhale, sweep your hands up, palms touch. Exhale, fold forward. Inhale, halfway lift. Exhale, fold, plant your hands, step or hop back to plank. Lower, lift your heart, and then send your hips up and back. And we're going to add on a little bit. So our right foot steps between our hands. You rotate your back foot to about 45 degrees. So you plant your foot, your back foot, firmly on the ground. When you do that, you are able to root into your foundation. All of your weight is mostly on your front foot to rise up to warrior one. Warrior one, your hips are square and facing in the same direction that your front knee is. So your hips face forward. Your back knee, leg is straight, and your foot is slightly turned. So I'll show it from this angle. So you come into warrior one. Your front leg is at a 90. Your back foot is slightly turned. So it's kind of at a 45-degree angle to the back of your mat. So again, here's warrior one. Humble warrior, you interlace your hands behind your back. You just grab your hands, right? And from here, you just hinge forward. So you're folding over your front leg. Your leg is still bent. You can leave your hands here behind your back, or you can lift them to sink lower. So now my chest is on my thigh and my hands are lifted. You're looking down at your foot. When we release, we slowly release our hands and bring them back to the mat. You're going to turn your back foot so now your toes are on the ground. You plant your hands so you can step back to your plank. Lower, lift, and then send your hips back to downward facing dog. Now your left foot comes forward. You pivot. Now if you notice, I just did a little bit of a hop because I brought my leg, so my leg's stretched out, right? My leg is really far back here. When I go to twist, that's really really long for me. So I bring my foot in a little bit and twist it or turn it to that 45-degree angle. You can see it better here. Ground into your front foot. Lift up. Again, warrior one. Interlace your hands behind your back and just fold over your leg. You can lift your arms again for a deeper stretch or leave them down. You will get here. It's all mobility, okay? And balance. Release your hands down to the mat. Step back to plank. Lower, lift, and up and back. Again, pedaling out your feet is always good. Now you're going to come to the top of the mat in either way. Now, first we walked. So I'm just going to hop to the top of the mat. And I do end up taking another step just to get closer to the front edge of my mat. Fold forward, halfway lift, fold, and rise all the way to standing. Hands to heart center, and release. The third time through this sequence, we add on some more. Actually, we kind of change the flow a little bit. So instead of coming here to extended mountain, from our mountain pose, we're going to send our hips back. We're going to bend our knees. So pretend there's a chair behind you and you're sitting down into that chair. You don't have to go very low unless you really want to, right? So you're going to sit back in chair. The goal is to get your legs at a more 90 degrees. We'll get there together. You're just going to sit back. Arms are forward. And then from here, we're just going to fold down. So you just fold over your legs. Let your hand and halfway lift. Plant your hands back to plank. Now you can step as well. Lower, lift, and up and back. Now for our add-on, instead of just stepping our foot forward, we're going to lift our right foot, pull it into your chest, and then step it forward. Your back knee is going to pivot so that your toes are facing the long edge of your mat. You're going to keep this front leg bent, your back leg back leg is straight. Your hips are now facing the same direction as your back foot. So your hips are square and facing the same direction as your back foot. Front foot is bent and your arms are out straight. You're going to turn your front palm facing forward. You're going to reach, reach, reach. So you're here. You're going to reach. So you're shifting your center to the back or to your back leg. Drop your back arm down your leg. Don't touch your leg. And your front arm comes up. Your back arm can be back here. It can be here, but don't place it on your leg because that collapses you, okay? So keep your arm away from your leg and front arm up. Feeling the stretch in your side body. You're going to come back to warrior two. You're going to repeat that going the opposite direction. So you're going to reach forward. You're going to drop your arm, your front arm to your knee and extend your back arm. Shoulder and ear stay away from each other. There's a gap here, okay? Now, if you want more, you can extend that arm down so that it's running down the side of your leg. I'll show you better on the other side. You're going to lift back up to warrior two. You're going to cartwheel your hands down to the mat and step back to your plank. Lower, lift, and down dog. You're going to repeat that same sequence on the left side. So you're going to lift your left leg, bend your knee into your chest, and step through. Pivot that back foot so that your toes are facing the long edge of your mat. Your hips are square to that long edge of the mat. So now you're facing the same direction as your back toe. Front leg is still bent to 90 degrees and your arms lift. Okay? Flip the front palm. Reach. Let me repeat that. Reach and lower. Again, this hand is just here. You can move it around. Don't place it here because you're going to collapse yourself. Okay? So it's just there. It doesn't do anything. You're feeling it here. And probably in your leg too. Not going to lie. Come back up. Reach. Drop. Extend. You still have that gap. You're not here. You're here. If you want more, you just come down. So just my fingers are touching the mat. You can bring your whole hand down and your hand follows. So this back hand is over. You're going to rise back up, cartwheel your hands back down to the mat, pivot that back foot, and step back. Lower, lift, and rise. In the flow, we will pause here. For this, we're going to just move on. So you're going to bend your knees, look to the top of your mat. You can walk it or hop it. Forward fold, halfway lift, exhale fold. And this time, instead of rising all the way up, we're going straight back to our chair. Hands to heart center. Stand and release. We will run through that one more time because we're going to add a couple of twists in. So you're in mountain. Sit back in your chair. Bring your hands to your heart center. Your left elbow is going to come to your right knee or your thigh. So you're either going to be here at your knee, so you sit back more, or you're up here, wherever. Your elbow is resting. Hands are in prayer. Top of hand is pressing down into your bottom hand as you open to the right. Then you're just going to come straight back to chair and do the same thing, twisting to the left. So right elbow to left knee or thigh, and twist open. You're going to come back to chair. You're going to fold forward, halfway lift. Exhale, fold, plant your hands, step or hop it back, lower, lift, up and back. You're going to then drop to your knees. You can untuck your toes, flat feet, shoulders over wrist. Back is flat. So we're going to come into our cat-cow sequence. So you're going to arch the back down. So you're pulling your butt back as you're arching the back down. Your chest then extends and you look up. And then you round your back and you drop your head, your chin to your chest. And you just roll through that. It's just a rolling motion. And we'll do that 3 or 4 times in the flow. And we'll come back to tabletop. From here, we'll tuck our toes, go back to down dog. Come to the top of the mat and fold. You're going to lift. You're going to lower back down, fold it down. You're going to sit back at your chair, hands to heart, and rise. Now, sometimes we will not do the cat-cow. It just depends on the flow of the class and the length of the song that you choose. So let's talk about that real quickly. So the playlist that I have, or the song that I use, I'm going to take a seat here. The song that I use for the warm-up is Bryan Adams, Everything I Do For You. That is a song that I use as I flow through that sequence that we just did. It's typically, if you do it slow and controlled, so if you do it with me in the videos, it should last that entire song. I will try as I to include playlists with each of the flows, each of the weeks. But that Everything I Do For You is the song that I play when I'm going through that flow. If you have questions, drop them here. You can find me on Instagram. It's Nurture Body and Soul. Lisa Ziner _ Nurture Body and Soul. I'll leave my email. You can email me questions as well. The purpose of these workouts are to get you strong. These are all workouts you can do without weights, complete body movement. I hope that you enjoy them. Any questions, please reach out to me, and I will see you the next section, which will be the bar breakdown. Thank you for joining me.